Hi, everybody. This is your announcement for Philosophy 201, Introduction to Philosophy, for the week of January 27th. Hi, everybody. I'm Kim Lopez Gallagher. I am your professor. And normally you would have met me visually the first day of class, but I was feeling really bad and with a cold, and I'm still trying to get over this thing. So, but I'm doing better. So I felt like it was okay to be on camera this time around. Okay, so welcome to our class. I'm happy that you decided to take Philosophy 201. We have a full class, and I think there are 25 students in the class, and so hello to all of you. Um, I will, in these announcements, go over what we're doing for the coming week. And a lot of times I try to give you some insight into the readings to kind of help you to think about how to approach the material that we'll be looking at for our course. So, needless to say, it's really important that you watch my announcements every week. It's really the best way to start your week in our class. Okay, and think of it as like you're showing up to class. Okay, so just like you would go to a physical classroom, um, watching my announcement is that time that you can show up to the classroom for some instruction and some advice on how to approach the coming week. Okay, so I hope you watch every week. And usually these announcements will come out on Mondays. And there'll be videos. Unless I'm not feeling good, then I'll usually just type you something. Okay, a written announcement. Okay, so I am using a technology called Screencast-O-Matic, and it's very cool because it allows me to share with you my screen and show you what's going on in our class. And I may not use this every week, but I am using it this week because I want to talk to you about how to approach our class um, on every time you come to class. Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen with you. This is our home page. All right. Philosophy 201. And this is where you'll find the announcements. Okay, so this is from last week. Usually I will have last week and the current announcement up there for you. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do when you're ready to start working, excuse me, on stuff in our class, on your assignments, what you're going to want to do is go to this left menu here. Everything's in blue. I don't know if it's in blue for you, but it is for me. And you're going to click here on modules. Okay, work from here always, from modules. Resist the temptation to click on this stuff. All right, because clicking on this stuff doesn't give you all the materials that you need in order to complete the assignments. Okay, so go over here and click on modules. So I'm going to do that. Click on the modules. Let's try it again. There we go. Slow. All right. So here is the Start Here module. By now, everybody should have gone through and read every page of this module. This is the syllabus. This will always be here. You can always refer to it, our schedule. And by now, everyone should have completed the introduction discussion and taken the syllabus quiz as well. Okay, so I'll be working on grading your discussion, your introduction discussions this week. Okay, so this week we are starting Module 1, which is right here. Self, Mind, and Body, which is kind of metaphysics. And so I've divided Module 1 into 4 parts, actually. Okay, so we'll be in Module 1 until February 21st. Okay, so pretty much kind of the first, I don't know, what is that? 6 weeks of class? 4 weeks? No, like 4 weeks of class. Okay, so anyway, this week we are in Module 1.1, in which we discuss, do we have an essential self or soul? Okay, we kind of just dive into these hard questions of philosophy here. All right, and so this is an age-old question. People have wondered this for millennia. And we're going to continue to wonder about whether or not we have an essential self or soul. And so you see I have kind of nice art here for you. And I give you just a little, overview of what we're going to cover in the class, in the module. I give you the course objectives that are supported by the module, and then the module objectives. Okay, so this is specific to what we're going to do this week in our module. So 1, we're going to identify the main points of the philosophical theories of self or soul presented by Locke, Buddhist scriptures, and Hume in a self-check quiz. Okay, and then 2, discuss the meaning of critical points dealing with the concepts of self or soul in a reading selection and a class discussion. Okay, so next, this is my commentary. So it's kind of like a written lecture that I've done. And it's a Word document. So if you can just click on this preview. And there it is. And it's me, see, it's really short, but it's just me kind of going over the readings that we're going to cover and giving you hopefully some insight about those readings. Okay, so there's that. Then you're going to read in our textbook, which is Traversing Philosophical Boundaries, in Chapter 1. So you're going to read On Personal Identity by John Locke, and that's on pages 12 to 18. Then you're going to read The Questions of King Milinda on the Self from the Buddhist scriptures. That's from pages 18 to 22. And then you're going to read There Is No Personal Identity, which is by David Hume, which is on pages 22 to 27. Okay, so all of these are fairly short selections. Okay, so don't panic that you have like 3 different things to read. It kind of all comes together as one reading. Okay, then I tell you why we're reading these. So then your actual assignment activities, your assessments, are to complete the self-check quiz and then to do our discussion. Okay, so I'm going to click Next, and that's how you want to move through our module, by clicking Next. There's your self-check quiz. Okay, so notice it's open book, which means that you can refer to the readings or the commentaries, anything that's within our course. Googling for answers is not permitted. Okay, so please don't Google for answers. You probably won't get the right answers. This tells you what it covers. You will have 2 attempts at taking the quiz. Only the highest score will be kept. Okay, so you'll complete that. And that is due, here's your due date, January 29th. Okay, next. Okay, and here's your discussion questions. All right, so make sure you read the instructions. One thing you need to know, to do this discussion, you must post your responses to the question 48 hours before the due date. Okay, so here the final due date is January 31st. So by January 29th, you need to post your response to this question. Okay, and so this question deals with the reading by Hume. All right, so that is how you're going to approach the class. So if you go back to modules, come on, slow. Okay, so you go back to modules, and that completes the first module for this week. And then next week you go on to module 1.2. All right, and really, try not to steam ahead and go ahead of everyone. It's not advised. Okay, we try to move through this class together, okay, as a group. All right, so for this week, considering the question of a self or soul, one thing about my class that I consciously tried to do is to give you materials that came from diverse perspectives. Okay, so, in the old days, like when I was in college, your introduction to philosophy class would consist of, pretty much just readings from Western European, not even American so much, but mostly Western European and philosophers, which would be the Greeks, the ancient Greeks, and so on. And that's all very important still. And you will get lots of those guys. But I also try to give you readings, and that's why I like the book that we have, Traversing Philosophical, where is it? Boundaries, which is this book right here. So I hope you all have it. Because the author, or he's not the author, he's really the editor, gives us a variety of readings. Okay, so which comes from traditions that are not Western European. So, for example, this week you have a reading by a Buddhist philosopher as well. Okay, so you'll see that as we go through the class. Okay, one thing about these readings, our Professor Hallman, for every reading, let's see here, he gives you an introduction. Okay, so one thing that's important to know, all right, so like, see this is the reading by Hume. All of this stuff here, if you can see my fingers, that's all an introduction. Okay, that is not the actual reading by Hume. The actual reading by Hume starts after those questions. Okay, so when you answer the discussion questions, I don't want you to answer them based on Hallman's introduction, okay, because that's not really part of the reading. I want you to read it because it's helpful, but it's not what Hume says, okay? I know I don't mean to sound annoyed, but students get confused, and it's just a matter of learning, okay? It's fine, but so it's really important when you answer the questions to answer them based on the actual author's writing, okay? And if you have any questions about that, please contact me so I can help you, okay? And that's important. I am here to help you. I want you to succeed, so let me help you. Okay, so send me messages in inbox if you have questions about the reading or you need clarification about some instructions. I can help you. Okay, so that's what we're doing for this week. The video's long. They won't be this long every week, I promise. Okay, so don't worry, you have to watch a long video every week. So anyway, I'm looking forward to the semester with you, and spring is always fun. You know, once we get through winter, springs, and we enjoy the nice weather and the birds chirping outside and all of that. So I hope you all have a good week, and I hope you all have a great semester. Thank you for taking Philosophy 201. I will see you next week. Okay, thanks. Bye.